Welcome to Monk's Temple. Wherever you are right now, perhaps curled in bed, or sitting in a favorite chair, or even standing by a window watching the night, know that this space is for you. Let the sounds around you become part of this moment. Let the weight of your body be fully supported. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go. For these next moments, your only task is to be here. Let's begin with the gentlest of invitations. Bring your attention to your breath. Not to change it. Not to make it deeper or calmer. Simply to notice it. The cool entry of air. The slight expansion of your ribs. The warm release. This breath is your anchor. It has been with you since your first cry. It will be with you until your last sigh. And right now, it is your doorway home. Years ago, high in the Andes of Peru, I met a woman who tended a small, rocky field. The soil was poor, full of stones. To me, it looked like a place where nothing could grow. But she smiled, her face lined like the terraces around us. She showed me her crop, tiny, hardy potatoes, growing in the cracks between the rocks. The stones, she said in Spanish, they are not the enemy of the potatoes. They make the roots strong. They hold the water when the sun is fierce. The potato must learn to embrace the stone, to grow around it, to let it become part of its shape. She held up a small, gnarled potato, its form molded by the very obstacles it had encountered. This one, she said, has the most flavor. Your suffering, your hardships, the unyielding stones in your life, they are not preventing your growth. They are directing it. They are asking your roots to go deeper, to find a way. They are giving you your unique, gnarled, and deeply flavorful shape. We are not here to remove the stones. We are here to learn how to grow around them, to let them become part of our strength. If this gentle space is something you wish to return to, consider subscribing to Monk's Temple. It is like leaving a light on in a window, a quiet reminder that you can always come home to yourself. No obligation, just an open door. Imagine you are a deep, ancient lake. On the surface, winds stir. Storms arrive. Waves rise and fall, anger, anxiety, fleeting joys, sharp sorrows. This is the weather of your mind. For most of our lives, we believe we are these waves. We thrash and churn, thinking, I am this storm. I am this chaos. But you are not the weather. You are the lake. Deep beneath the turbulent surface, there is a stillness that has never been disturbed. A calm, dark, peaceful water where light filters down in soft rays. No storm, no matter how fierce, can touch this depth. Your practice is not to stop the weather, the winds will blow as they will. Your practice is to remember the depth. To, in the midst of the gale, sense the profound stillness below. One conscious breath is like a small stone dropped through the turbulent surface. Plink. And you follow it down, down, past the churning waves, into the cool, silent dark. You are there. You have always been there. The storm is real, but it is not all of you. You are the lake that holds it. We are all master weavers. But we have been given two very different shuttles for our loom. In one hand, we hold the shuttle of experience. This is the thread of what actually happens, the unexpected rain, the ache in the knee, the forgotten birthday, the kind word from a stranger. It is neutral. It is simply the thread of life as it comes. In our other hand, we hold the shuttle of narrative. This is the thread we spin ourselves. This rain ruins everything. This pain means I'm falling apart. They forgot because I don't matter. That stranger was just being polite. With this shuttle, we weave an elaborate, often painful, tapestry over the top of the simple cloth of experience. We confuse the heavy, suffocating narrative tapestry for reality itself. Mindfulness is the act of setting down the narrative shuttle. Just for a moment. To look at the bare warp and weft of the actual experience. The rain is just wet. The ache is just a sensation. The forgotten birthday is a calendar date missed. The kind word is a sound in the air. The suffering is in the overlay, the story we weave so skillfully, so automatically. Tonight, practice feeling the weight of the narrative shuttle in your hand. And see if you can, gently, place it down. Look at the simple cloth beneath. It is lighter than you think. I remember sitting in a crowded, noisy train station in Mumbai. The air was thick with heat, diesel, and the press of humanity. A small girl, no more than 5, was standing with her father, overwhelmed. She began to cry. Her father did not tell her to be quiet. He did not distract her with a sweet. He knelt down, right there on the dusty floor, placed his hands on her little shoulders, looked into her tear-filled eyes and said just one word, with immense tenderness, Main Hoon. It means, I am here. He did not solve the noise, the heat, the crowd. He offered his presence. And gradually, her sobs subsided. She buried her face in his shoulder, not because the world had changed, but because she was no longer alone in it. This is the first and greatest act of compassion we can offer to our own distress. When the inner child of your heart is overwhelmed, frightened, or sad, you can kneel down in the space of your own awareness, place a gentle hand on your heart, and whisper, Main Hoon. I am here. You don't need to fix the unfixable noise of life. You just need to stop abandoning yourself within it. We build museums for our past pains. We curate exhibits, the injustice of 2012, the heartbreak gallery, the hall of failures. We shine careful lights on these artifacts, give them plaques with detailed explanations, and give guided tours to ourselves every night when we cannot sleep. We believe this is remembering. But it is not. It is preservation. It is keeping something dead artificially alive. True remembering is to visit the battlefield long after the war, to see that grass has grown over the scars, that flowers bloom in the craters. It is to acknowledge that something terrible happened here, but life, in its relentless, gentle way, has begun to heal the ground. You are allowed to let your museum close. You do not have to be its eternal curator. You can take the artifacts, bless them for the lessons they hold, and then let the weather of time and presence slowly return them to the earth. The ground of your being wants to grow grass over those scars. It wants to send up wildflowers. Your mindful attention is the sun and rain that allows that healing to begin. Let's speak of time. We imagine it as a river, carrying us from a snowy peak, birth, down to a vast ocean, death. We fight the current, or we float passively, fearing the waterfalls ahead. But what if time is not a river at all? What if it is an ocean? And you are not a leaf upon its surface, but a coral reef deep below. The past is not upstream, it is the limestone skeleton you have built, layer upon layer, experience upon experience. The present is the living, breathing polyps on the surface of that structure, sensing the water of now. The future is the direction in which the reef is growing, shaped by the currents but fundamentally an extension of what already is. You are not being swept away. You are building, moment by moment, the intricate, beautiful, resilient structure of your life. Even the storms that scour the surface only serve to shape you. You are not passive. You are the architect, the builder, and the dweller, all at once. When you feel adrift, remember, you are not on the river. You are the reef. Feel your solidity. Feel your growth. You belong right here. There is a practice among the Sami people of the Arctic. When the endless winter night begins to weigh on the soul, they do not fight it. They make a lavu, a tent, from reindeer hides. Inside, in the center, they build a small fire. They gather around it. They tell stories. They do not try to illuminate the entire tundra. They create a small, warm, bright circle in the immense dark. And in that circle, there is warmth, there is face-to-face connection, there is life. Your mind in difficult times is like that Arctic night, vast, cold, seemingly endless. You cannot light it all up. You cannot make the sun rise before its time. But you can build your lavu. You can create a small, warm circle of awareness. Your breath is the central fire. Your gentle attention to this moment is the circle of light. Inside this circle, you are safe. You are warm. You are present. The night outside is still there. But it no longer defines your experience. Build your lavu now. Feel the fire of your breath. See the circle of light cast by your awareness. Rest here. The night will take care of itself. We believe we must be consistent. The same person yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We cling to this identity like a life raft. I am a warrior. I am successful. I am broken. But you are not a noun. You are a verb. You are not a warrior. You are worrying, in this moment. You are not broken, you are healing, in this moment. A river is not a thing called river. It is the constant act of flowing. If it stops flowing, it ceases to be a river and becomes a pond, then a swamp. Your aliveness is in your flowing. You're changing. Your capacity to be different from one moment to the next. You are not betraying yourself when you change. You are being most profoundly yourself. You are flowing. Let go of the noun. Embrace the verb. I am breathing. I am feeling. I am aware. This is the truth of you. It is always fresh, always new, always free from the stories of the past. In the heart of the Australian outback, there is a tree called the ghost gum. It grows in the most arid, cracked, red earth imaginable. For months, not a drop of rain falls. The sun is a hammer. The ground is stone. And the ghost gum does not fight this. It does not try to be a lush rainforest tree. It transforms itself to meet the desert. Its leaves are silver, reflecting the sun's fury. Its bark is pale and smooth, shedding heat. Its roots go down, not out, searching for hidden water deep in the bedrock. It waits. It conserves. It survives, not by battling the desert, but by becoming an expression of it, beautiful, stark, and utterly resilient. When you are in a season of drought, of emotional aridity, spiritual exhaustion, you are not failing. You are being asked to become a ghost gum. To turn your leaves to silver reflection. To send your roots down deep into the bedrock of your being, to the hidden springs of stillness that never run dry. To understand that survival is not about frantic growth, but about wise conservation. To become beautiful in your starkness, resilient in your stillness. The desert is not your enemy. It is the condition of your current transformation. Be the ghost gum. We often think of peace as the absence of noise. But I learned a different kind of peace in a blacksmith's forge in Marrakesh. The noise was immense, the roaring bellows, the clang of hammer on anvil, the hiss of hot metal in water. Yet the blacksmith, Ahmed, moved with a serene, unhurried focus. The noise was not a distraction, it was the music of his work. The fire was not a threat, it was his partner. Peace is not the absence of the forge's chaos. Peace is the centered, skilled presence within it. Your life is a forge. There is the roar of responsibilities, the clang of unexpected events, the hiss of deadlines and demands. You cannot silence the forge. But you can find the blacksmith's presence within yourself. The breath is your steady bellows. Your awareness is the skilled hand that holds the metal to the fire, knowing when to strike and when to let it be. The chaos is not disturbing your peace. It is the very material through which your peace is forged and tempered, made strong and useful. Don't wish for a silent library. Become the blacksmith in your own noisy, fiery, creative life. Let's talk about the stories we tell in the dark. A parent lies awake at 3 a.m. Their child is safely asleep down the hall. Yet the mind begins, what if they get sick? What if they struggle in school? What if I'm not enough for them? This is not planning. This is a form of mental haunting. We are visited by ghosts of futures that do not exist. In medieval times, people believed in sin-eating. A person would come after a death, eat bread and salt placed on the deceased's chest, and symbolically consume their sins, freeing the soul. Your 3 a.m. worries are like those sins, not yours, not real, but psychic weights placed upon the chest of the present moment. Mindfulness is the act of the sin-eater for your own soul. You look at the worry, the ghostly bread of, what if, and you do not fight it. You acknowledge it. Ah, here is the worry about the future. And then, with the salt of your present moment awareness, you consume it. You take it into the vastness of your attention, where it dissolves. You are not haunted. You are the compassionate space that can hold and transform the ghost. The child is asleep. Your breath is here. This moment is intact. Free your soul from the feast of future fears. The mind is a magnificent, overprotective guard dog. It hears a rustle in the bushes, an ambiguous email, a strange sensation in the body, a change in someone's tone, and it erupts into frantic barking. Danger. Intruder. Alert. Alert. It means well. It thinks it's protecting you. But most of the time, the rustle is just the wind. A leaf. A cat. Nothing that requires this level of alarm. We spend our lives jerked around by the barking of our own mental guard dog, exhausted by the constant state of false alarm. The practice is not to shoot the dog. It is to become the wise, calm owner who steps onto the porch, lays a gentle hand on the dog's head, and says, "It's okay. I see it. I'll check it out. You can rest now." Your mindful awareness is that calm owner. You acknowledge the bark, there's fear. You thank the mind for its vigilance, and then you investigate the actual bush with curiosity, not panic. 9 times out of 10, you find only the wind. And the dog, feeling seen and relieved, lies down at your feet. I spent time with a community of glassblowers on the island of Murano in Venice. What struck me was the relationship with brokenness. A piece of glass that cracks in the cooling process is not thrown away as trash. It is collected, crushed back into fine cullet, and returned to the furnace. It becomes the raw material for a new piece, often even more beautiful because the cullet melts at a lower temperature, allowing for new techniques. There is no stigma in being broken glass. It is simply part of the cycle of creation. Your broken moments, your failures, your heartaches, the times you felt you shattered, are not waste. They are your cullet. They are the precious raw material, ready to be gathered with compassion, returned to the warm, accepting space of your awareness, and melted down to form the basis of what comes next. You are not discarding your past. You are recycling it into your future strength and beauty. The crack is not the end. It is the beginning of a return to the fire of transformation. We search for a state of being where we are finished, healed, enlightened, fixed. We imagine a summit where we can plant a flag and rest, finally complete. But life is not a mountain. It is a range. And you are not a climber. You are the landscape itself. The valleys of sorrow, the peaks of joy, the rugged cliffs of challenge, the gentle meadows of peace, they are all you. To wish to be finished is to wish for the erosion of your own fascinating, dynamic topography. The goal is not to reach a point where the weathering stops. The goal is to be in awe of the weathering itself, the wind and rain of experience that sculpt you into ever more interesting forms. You are not approaching a destination. You are the journey, in all its current, temporary, breathtaking shape. Look at yourself not as something incomplete, but as a range under an ever-changing sky. Beautiful. Whole. Alive. Let us talk of a different kind of anchor. Not one of iron that holds a ship fast against a current, but one of a more ancient kind. In the vastness of the Mongolian steppe, herders use a rope made of horsehair, tied to a simple iron peg driven into the earth. They call it a herger. When the wild, horizonless wind threatens to steal their felt gur, their home, they do not build stone walls. They tighten the herger. They secure the connection between their fragile dwelling and the deep, unmoving earth. Your mind in a storm of worry is that gur, billowing and straining. Your thoughts are the screaming wind. You cannot stop the wind of thought. It is the nature of the steppe. But you have a herger. Your breath is that horsehair rope. The present moment sensation in your body, the feel of your hands, your feet, the seat beneath you, that is the iron peg in the solid earth. The practice is not to stop the wind, or to wish you were in a stone castle. The practice is to feel for your herger. To take it in hand, and to consciously, gently, tighten your connection to the ground of now. One breath. One sensation. You are not lost on the step. You are simply remembering to secure your home to what is solid, what is here. We have been taught that happiness is a butterfly, elusive, flitting, beautiful, and forever just out of reach. We chase it with nets of achievement, jars of possession, fields of perfect conditions. And sometimes we catch it, for a moment. But it dies quickly in the jar of our grasping. What if happiness is not a butterfly at all? What if it is the flower? It does not flit. It is rooted. It does not need to be caught. It simply blooms where it is planted, turning its face to whatever sun is available. Your capacity for joy is not a fragile insect to be pursued. It is a perennial, resilient bloom that is part of your very nature. You cannot chase a flower. You can only tend the soil in which it grows. The soil is this moment. The water is your attention. The sun is your acceptance. Stop chasing. Start tending. Bloom where you are planted, right now, in the imperfect but fertile ground of this breath. There is a lighthouse on the coast of Brittany that stands on a rock that is submerged twice a day by the fierce Atlantic tides. For hours, it is an island. For hours, it is besieged by waves that crash against its granite base with terrifying force. The keeper, in the old days, could do nothing about the tide. He could not command the sea. His job was simply to keep the light burning. To make sure the lens was clean, the oil was full, the flame was steady. When the waves were at their worst, his world was thunder and spray and shaking stone. But high above, the beam cut through the storm, a silent promise of direction. You cannot stop the tides of emotion. Grief will rise like a spring tide and surround you. Anxiety will crash against your foundations. You cannot command this inner sea. But you are the keeper. Your purpose is not to calm the waters. Your purpose is to tend the light. Your mindful awareness is that steady, turning beam. It does not deny the storm. It simply does its job, to illuminate, to guide, to remind you and others that there is a fixed point, a direction home, even in the deepest night, the wildest sea. Tend your light. The tide will recede on its own schedule. I met a woodworker in the mountains of North Carolina who made guitars from reclaimed barn wood. The wood was full of knots, nail holes, and the deep gray weathering of decades. People would ask him, why not use clean, new wood? He would smile and say, the story is in the imperfections. A nail hole becomes a place where the sound resonates differently. A knot gives it character. This wood has lived. It has something to say. He would sand it smooth, not to remove its history, but to honor it. Then he would string it. And the music that came out was rich, complex, haunting, a melody that could only come from a life fully lived, scars and all. You are not a blank piece of spruce, meant to be perfect and unmarked. You are reclaimed barn wood. Your knots, your nail holes, your weathered gray places, they are not flaws to be hidden. They are the source of your unique resonance. Your song. Your life, your voice, your way of being, is beautiful precisely because of the story in the grain. Do not wish for a smoother piece of wood. Learn to play the magnificent, complex, deeply resonant instrument that you already are. We speak of holding on and letting go as the only two options. But there is a third way, taught to me by a pearl diver in the Philippines. He explained that when an oyster is injured, when a grain of sand irritates its soft flesh, it does not hold on to the pain, clinging to the sharp edges. Nor does it let go and expel the grain, which is often impossible. It does something miraculous. It begins to secrete a smooth, lustrous substance called nacre. Layer upon layer, it coats the irritant. It does not fight the sand. It transforms its relationship to it. Over time, the source of its suffering becomes the center of its greatest beauty, a pearl. Your deepest wounds, your persistent irritants, the grief that won't fade, the anxiety that lingers, the old shame, you may not be able to expel them. And holding on to their sharp edges only causes more pain. So, consider the way of the oyster. Begin to secrete the nacre of your attention. Coat the rough edges not with resistance, but with the soft, layered, patient substance of mindful awareness. Do not seek to get rid of the grit. Seek to relate to it differently. In time, with gentle, persistent coating, you may find you have not gotten rid of your pain, but have created something precious from it. The pearl is not the removal of the sand. It is the transformation of the relationship. We are afraid of silence because we confuse it with emptiness. We think if we turn off the noise, we will be alone with a void. But silence is not empty. I learned this in the catacombs beneath Paris. Miles of tunnels, lined with bones. The tour groups left, and I lingered for a moment by a locked gate. The silence was absolute. But it was not empty. It was full of the weight of centuries, full of the whispers of history, full of a profound, humming presence. It was a fertile silence. Your own inner silence, when you dare to enter it, is like that. It is not an empty room. It is a catacomb. Full of the bones of your past, the architecture of your soul, the whispers of wisdom waiting to be heard. It can feel intimidating, sacred, deep. But it is alive. It is where your true wealth is stored. You are not afraid of emptiness. You are in awe of the profound, fertile fullness of your own being, and it is overwhelming. Tonight, approach your silence not as a void to be filled, but as a sacred, ancient library to be visited with respect. Breathe, and listen. The whispers you hear are your own soul, speaking in its native tongue. Think of your awareness not as a spotlight, but as the sky. A spotlight picks out one thing, a problem, a worry, a pain, and makes it brilliant, central, all-consuming. The sky, however, holds everything. Clouds of thought drift through. Storms of emotion brew and pass. Jets of anxiety streak across. The sun of joy breaks through. The moon of peace rises. The sky does not grasp at the clouds or try to stop the storms. It has no opinion on the weather. It is the boundless, accepting space in which all weather patterns are allowed to form, play out, and dissolve. You are not the spotlight, frantically illuminating one drama after another. You are the sky. Your essential nature is vast, clear, and fundamentally undisturbed by whatever passes through. When you feel contracted, small, focused on one painful thing, remember, you are not the storm. You are the sky that contains it. Relax back into your sky-like nature. Feel the boundless space behind your eyes. The weather is not you. You are the space for the weather. There is an old railway bridge in Scotland that has been turned into a garden. Where once trains roared, now there are walking paths, flowers, and trees growing between the old iron girders. The structure has not been torn down. Its history has not been erased. It has been repurposed. Given a new life while honoring its old form. Your mind is full of such structures, old neural pathways, thought patterns laid down in the rush and roar of past experiences. The train of habitual reaction no longer needs to run on those tracks. But instead of trying to dynamite the bridge, a violent, exhausting act, you can become the gardener. You can walk those old iron pathways mindfully. You can plant flowers of new intention in the spaces between the girders. You can let ivy of compassion soften the hard edges. You are not destroying your past. You are creatively, gently, repurposing it. The bridge is strong. It can hold the weight of beauty just as well as it once held the weight of the train. Tend your inner garden bridges. What was a route of noise can become a path of peace. We often speak of the heart as if it is a simple vessel for emotion. But I learned a more complex truth from a cardiologist in Kyoto who also practiced calligraphy. He said the heart is not a container, it is a brush. And our emotions are the ink. A full brush, pressed too hard, creates a blot, a messy, overwhelming surge of feeling that obscures the paper. A brush with no ink creates only faint, ghostly traces, the numbness of avoidance. But a brush properly loaded, held with a relaxed yet attentive grip, allows for the creation of beautiful, flowing characters. Each stroke is felt, intentional, part of a greater meaning. Your practice is to learn to hold the brush of your heart with mindful attention. To feel the ink of anger, of love, of grief, of joy, and to allow it to flow onto the paper of your life not as a destructive blot or a faint trace, but as the art of a lived experience. You are not trying to have a clean, inkless page. You are learning the art of shodo, the way of writing, with the emotions you are given. Feel the brush in your hand. Feel the ink. Now, breathe, and make one gentle, conscious stroke with this moment. In the Sonoran Desert, there is a creature called the kangaroo rat. It never drinks water. Not a single drop. All the moisture it needs, it metabolizes from the seeds it eats. It is a marvel of internal alchemy, turning the dry, hard stuff of its environment into the fluid of life itself. We often wait for external rain, for circumstances to provide the emotional or spiritual hydration we crave. We wait for the perfect job, the right relationship, the big break to quench our thirst. But what if, like the kangaroo rat, you possess a profound internal alchemy? The dry seeds of your everyday life, the routine task, the mundane moment, the minor irritation, can be metabolized by the fire of your attentive awareness into the nectar of presence. You do not need to wait for a monsoon of good fortune. You can learn to extract the moisture of meaning, of peace, from the very seeds of your current reality. Your mindfulness is your metabolism. It transforms what is dry and hard into what is sustaining and fluid. Stop looking to the sky for rain. Look within at your own miraculous alchemy. What dry seed of this moment can you metabolize into life? We build dams against the flow of feeling. We see a strong emotion coming, a tidal wave of grief, a river of rage. And we frantically pile up sandbags of distraction, logic, numbing. I must not feel this. It will be too much. It will destroy me. But a feeling is not water. It is more like wind. You cannot dam the wind. You can only feel it on your skin. You can close all the shutters and hide in the basement, and still you will hear it howling outside, and the house will creak with its pressure. Or you can step onto the porch. You can feel its force. You can let it tug at your clothes, ruffle your hair. You can smell the rain it carries. You can say, "This is a powerful wind." And you will still be standing. Feeling an emotion fully does not mean you are swept away by it. It means you have stopped hiding from the weather of your own soul. You have stepped onto the porch of your awareness to experience it directly. It may be intense. But you are not the wind. You are the one feeling the wind. And the one who feels is always larger than the feeling. Tonight, if a strong feeling arises, imagine stepping onto the porch. Feel it. Name it. This is grief. This is anger. Let it blow. You are the house. You are safe. Memory is not a filing cabinet. It is a living ecosystem. I walked once in a preserved patch of old-growth forest in the Pacific Northwest. The guide pointed to a nurse log, a giant, fallen cedar, decaying on the forest floor. Growing from its back were hemlock saplings, their roots weaving into the rotting wood. "The old tree is not gone," she said. "It is becoming the soil for the new forest. Its death is not an end, it is a transformation into support. Your past, especially the parts that feel dead and fallen, old failures, lost loves, faded versions of yourself, they are not inert files taking up space. They are nurse logs. They are decaying into the rich humus of your being, providing nutrients for what is growing now. The resilience you have today is fed by the decomposition of yesterday's hardships. Do not resent the fallen trees of your history. Honor them as the nurturing ground from which your current strength emerges. You are not carrying dead weight. You are walking on fertile ground of your own making. We think of focus as a narrowing. A funneling of all our light onto one small point. But there is another kind of focus, taught in the tea ceremonies of Korea. It is called mushim. A mind like still water. The practitioner is aware of everything, the sound of the kettle, the texture of the bowl, the color of the tea, the quality of the light, the presence of the guest. The focus is not on one thing to the exclusion of all else. It is a soft, wide, receptive awareness that holds the entire field without grasping at any part of it. This is the focus of the heart at peace. It is not a laser beam. It is a clear, still pool that reflects the whole sky. When you feel scattered, pulled in 10 directions, do not try to narrow your focus to one frantic point. Try the focus of mushim. Widen your attention. Feel your body as a whole. Hear all the sounds around you as a symphony, not as distractions. See the entire field of your experience as it is. This wide, soft focus is not distraction. It is the deepest kind of presence. It is how you hold the wholeness of your life without being shattered by its many parts. Imagine your mind as an ancient, sprawling city. There are districts, the bustling market of planning, the shadowed alleyways of regret, the wide boulevards of hope, the cramped tenements of worry. Most of our lives, we are lost in these streets, identifying completely with whichever neighborhood we find ourselves in. I am in worry. Therefore, I am worried. We become the district. But mindfulness is the act of climbing the central bell tower. It's a long climb up a spiral staircase of breath. Step by step, breath by breath, you rise above the streets. When you reach the top and step out onto the observation deck, the view changes entirely. You can see all the districts at once. You see the traffic jam in Anxiety Square, the festival in Joy Plaza, the construction in future planning. You are no longer lost in any single street. You are the witness of the entire city. You can see a storm brewing over the tenements of worry, but you are not getting wet. You are up in the clear air, feeling the wind, seeing the whole pattern. Your problems don't disappear. But your relationship to them transforms. You are not a citizen trapped in a storm. You are the watchful guardian in the tower, seeing the weather come and go over your beloved, complex city. When you feel lost, remember the bell tower. Your next conscious breath is the first step on the staircase. Begin to climb. There is a geological phenomenon called a tor. It is a pile of massive, jumbled granite boulders that crown a hill, often in otherwise smooth, rolling landscapes. In Dartmoor, England, they stand like giants resting. Geologists say they were not deposited by glaciers. They were always there. The softer rock around them eroded over millions of years, leaving these hard, stubborn cores exposed. Your deepest truths, your core strengths, your unshakable values, they are your tors. The weathering of life. The disappointments, the losses, the daily grind, this is not destroying you. It is eroding away everything that is not essential. It is revealing, slowly and surely, the granite core that was there all along. What you perceive as wearing down may in fact be a process of revelation. You are not becoming weaker. You are being sculpted into a more authentic, exposed, and majestic form. The wind and rain feel harsh, but they are the artists revealing the tor. Trust the erosion. Your granite is being unveiled. We speak of following our breath, but this can make it sound like a shy animal we must track through the woods. Perhaps it's the opposite. Your breath is the faithful dog that has never left your side. You are the one who has wandered off, lost in the thickets of thought. The practice is not to pursue the breath. It is to stop, turn around, and realize your loyal companion is right there, panting softly, waiting for you to notice. It has been with you through every joy, every panic, every sleep. It never judges. It never abandons. It simply offers its rhythm, here. 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 So don't follow your breath. Return to it. Acknowledge the companion who has been patiently waiting for your attention all along. Place a hand on your chest or belly and feel its faithful, rhythmic presence. You are not alone. You have this most ancient, loyal friend. Thank it with your awareness. In the archives of old sailing maps, cartographers would write across unexplored regions, "Hic sunt dragons." Here be dragons. It was not a statement of fact, but an admission of ignorance and fear. The unknown was filled with projected monsters. Your future is such a map. The parts you haven't lived are blank spaces. And your worried mind, playing cartographer, fills them in with dragons. Here be failure. Here be loneliness. Here be disaster. Mindfulness is the courageous act of rolling up that imaginary, monster-covered map. It is saying, I do not know what is there. I cannot draw it yet. And instead, you pick up the spyglass of the present moment. You look at what is actually on the horizon right now. You see the color of the sky, the texture of the water, the feel of the deck under your feet. You attend to the real, the immediate, the knowable. The blank space of the future remains blank, and that is okay. It is not filled with dragons. It is filled with potential, which includes both challenge and wonder. But you cannot see it until you arrive. Stop drawing monsters. Put down the map. Pick up the spyglass of now. What do you actually see, hear, and feel? That is your only true navigational data. A potter teaching in Santa Fe told me about the tyranny of the perfect pot. Students come wanting to create a flawless, symmetrical vessel. They fight the clay. They get frustrated. The clay fights back. She tells them, let the clay speak. Let it be a little uneven. That curve there, where your thumb slipped. That's where the spirit entered. The most beautiful pots, she says, are often the ones that clearly show the hand of the maker, the slight wobble, the uneven rim. They have humility. They have character. We try to craft a perfect life, smooth, symmetrical, without visible flaws. We fight the natural clay of our experience, trying to force it into an ideal shape. And we suffer in the fight. What if you released the tyranny of the perfect pot? What if you allowed your life to have the beautiful, humble evidence of your human hand? The wobble where you struggled. The thicker wall where you fortified yourself. The uneven glaze where your emotions ran. This is not a flawed pot. This is a pot with spirit. It holds water just as well. It is more interesting to look at. It is more true. Let your life be an honest pot. Let the spirit in through the imperfections. The mind loves to compare. It is a relentless antique appraiser, holding up two experiences, two people, two versions of yourself, and assessing their relative value. This joy is not as bright as the one last summer. Her peace seems more solid than mine. I was better then than I am now. But comparison requires a fixed scale, a stable currency. And the currency of inner experience is not fixed. It is alive, fluid, and unique to each moment. Comparing present peace to past peace is like comparing the taste of this apple to the memory of an orange. They are different fruits. This moment's sadness is not a lesser version of yesterday's happiness. It is its own entire, valid, unique emotional weather system. When you find yourself comparing, see it as the mind playing a pointless, exhausting game. Gently decline to play. Say, no comparison today. Instead, take a direct taste of the fruit of this moment, whatever it is. Sour, sweet, or bitter, taste it fully. Its value is in its reality, not in its rank on a non-existent scale. I visited a monastery in the Himalayas where they made butter lamps. They used simple clay dishes, filled with melted yak butter, with a cotton wick. The Lama told me, the lamp is not the butter, nor the wick, nor the clay dish. The lamp is the light. Our identity is like this. We think we are the clay dish, the body, the butter, the energy, the wick, the mind. We get attached to the specific forms. But you are not any of these temporary, changing materials. You are the light that is generated when awareness touches experience. The light can burn in any dish, with any fuel, on any wick. Your body will change. Your energy will wax and wane. Your thoughts will flicker. But the capacity for conscious light, that is who you are. Don't confuse yourself with the temporary vessels. Tend the flame of your awareness. That is your true, undying nature. We think of resilience as the ability to bounce back, to return to our original shape like a trampoline. But there is a deeper resilience, that of the bamboo. In a typhoon, the oak tree resists. It stands rigid against the wind until it cracks. The bamboo bends. It yields all the way to the ground. It does not fight the force. It accepts it, moves with it, and when the storm passes, it springs back, not to its old shape, but upright, alive, unharmed. Your resilience is not about being unbreakably rigid in the face of emotional storms. It is about cultivating the suppleness of bamboo. To feel the full force of the grief wind, the anxiety storm, and to allow yourself to bend, to yield, to feel pressed almost to the ground, without breaking. This bending is not collapse. It is intelligent, non-resistant survival. And when the storm of feeling passes, as all storms do, you will find you straighten again, rooted, alive. Your strength is in your flexibility, not in your rigidity. Be the bamboo, not the oak. In the deep fjords of Norway, there is a silence so profound it has weight. The water is black and still, reflecting cliffs that rise straight up for thousands of feet. A local fisherman told me something I've never forgotten. He said, "The water is so deep here, it takes decades for a single ripple to reach the bottom." Think of your deepest emotional wounds, the ones that feel old and dark and still. The initial event, the stone dropped into your lake, may have happened years ago. The surface may have long since calmed. But in the depths, the ripple is still traveling. When a sudden sadness surfaces for no reason, it may not be a new stone. It may be an ancient ripple, finally arriving at the shore of your present awareness. You do not need to search for a new cause. You can simply acknowledge the traveler. Ah, you are here now. You have come a long way. Honor the distance it has traveled. Then let it lap against the shore and recede. The depth of your feeling is not a flaw, it is a testament to your capacity to hold profound experience. A shallow pond has no decades-deep ripples. We often treat our minds like a bad employee. We critique its performance, second-guess its decisions, and constantly threaten to fire it if it doesn't produce better, happier thoughts. This creates an inner workplace of fear and rebellion. What if, instead, you became a wise, compassionate CEO? You acknowledge that this employee, the thinking mind, is incredibly hardworking and creative, but it often gets stuck in outdated patterns. You don't yell at it. You call it into your office, the spacious office of your heart, and you say, "I see how hard you're working. Thank you. I have a new assignment for you." Instead of writing reports on everything that could go wrong, I'd like you to simply observe the current conditions. Just gather data from the senses. No analysis needed right now. You redirect its energy without blame. The mind, feeling seen and given a clear, manageable task, often settles. You are not at war with your mind. You are learning to manage its tremendous talents with wisdom and direction. There is a square in Havana, Cuba, where every evening, people gather to dance. They are not all young, not all professionals. They are grandparents, teenagers, shopkeepers, all moving together in the complex, rhythmic patterns of salsa. An older man once told me, "You do not need to wait for the perfect moment to dance. The music is always playing. The moment you step into the square, you are dancing. Your life is that square. The music of the present moment is always playing, a composition of sounds, sensations, breaths, heartbeats. You have been waiting on the sidelines for the perfect rhythm, for your worries to stop, for your pain to lift, so you can finally step in and live. But the living is the dancing. The moment you bring your awareness to this breath, you have stepped into the square. A single conscious breath is your first step in the dance. It may be clumsy. It may be slow. But you are dancing. You are participating in the music of being alive. Stop waiting for a different song. The music of now is the only one that's ever playing. Step in. Consider the spider's web, glistening with morning dew in a garden corner. It is intricate, delicate, and exquisitely engineered to catch vibrations. The spider waits at the center, feeling the slightest tremor along the silken threads. Your nervous system is such a web. It is designed to catch vibrations from the world, signals of threat, of opportunity, of connection. When an anxious thought arises, it is like a fly hitting the web. The whole structure vibrates with the alarm, something is caught. Attention! Attention! The spider does not panic. It does not tear its own web apart. It moves with deliberate grace toward the vibration to investigate. You can learn from the spider. When anxiety strikes, that vibrational tremor across your neural web, you do not need to panic and thrash. You can move with deliberate, gentle attention toward the feeling. What is this vibration? Where do I feel it? What is its texture? You investigate not with fear, but with curiosity. Often, upon close inspection, the fly is just a leaf, a piece of dust, a thought with no real substance. The web settles. This is the purpose of your sensitivity, not to torment you, but to guide your attention. Be the graceful spider, not the frantic fly. I learned about thresholds from a carpenter in rural Ireland. He was fitting an old oak door into a stone cottage. He said, "The threshold isn't just the bit you step over. It's the liminal space. It's neither in nor out." In the old days, they believed it was where you could speak to both worlds. You stand at many thresholds each day. The threshold between sleep and wakefulness. Between work and home. between one task and another, between silence and speech. We usually rush over them, missing the sacred pause of the in-between. What if you honored your thresholds? Before getting out of bed, dwell for 3 breaths in the threshold state, not asleep, not awake, just being. Before answering a message, pause in the threshold between receiving and reacting. In that liminal space, there is a profound stillness and choice. It is where you can remember who you are before you step into what you must do. Tonight, feel the threshold you are on now, between the day's activities and the night's rest. Dwell here for a few moments. It is a holy space. We believe we need to process our emotions like data, analyze them, understand their source, file them away. But emotions are not data. They are more like weather fronts. You do not process a thunderstorm. You observe it. You note its power. You take sensible shelter. You feel the change in pressure, the electricity in the air. You respect its autonomy. And you know it will pass. Trying to intellectually process a thunderstorm while it's happening is like standing in the rain with a clipboard, asking, what is the precise chemical composition of this rainwater? What was the upstream cause of this specific lightning bolt? You will just get wet and struck by lightning. When a storm of emotion is upon you, put the clipboard down. Go to your shelter, the steady rhythm of your breath, the solid ground of your body. Watch the lightning of anger flash. Listen to the thunder of grief roll. Feel the rain of tears. Don't analyze the storm. Be the wise observer in the safe shelter of your awareness, knowing this, too, is a temporary weather pattern moving across the vast sky of your being. In the great libraries of antiquity, they had a practice called armarium, the cupboard of the soul. It was a small, locked cabinet where a monk would keep the one book he was currently copying by hand. His entire focus was on that single text, letter by letter, for months. The rest of the library's vast knowledge waited patiently on the shelves. Your mind is that great library. It contains lifetimes of stories, archives of memory, volumes of possibility. But you try to read all the books at once. You have them all open on the desk, pages fluttering in the chaotic wind of your attention. No wonder you feel overwhelmed. The practice of mindfulness is the practice of the armarium. You gently close all the other books. You select one simple text, the sensation of breath. Or, the sound in the room. You place it in the locked cabinet of your full attention. And you copy it, moment by moment, with exquisite care. The rest of your mind, your worries about tomorrow, your regrets of yesterday, they are safe on the shelves. They are not lost. They will be there if and when you need them. But for now, you are a copyist, devoted to the sacred text of this single, present moment. This is how peace is transcribed. We speak of carrying burdens as if they are separate weights on our backs. But what if the burden is not something you carry, but something you are? Like a mountain does not carry its rocks, it is its rocks. Your grief, when it is deep, is not a backpack you can set down. It has become part of your topography. You are a mountain now with a valley of sorrow carved into your side. This is not a fault. It is a feature. It gives you depth. It creates ecosystems of compassion that would not exist on a smooth, barren plain. It catches the rain and creates springs that feed others. You do not need to remove the valley. You need to stop trying to be a hill. Accept your mountainous nature. Walk your own slopes with respect. The view from your peak is unique precisely because of the profound valleys below. You are not burdened. You are sculpted. And there is majesty in that. There is a canyon in the American Southwest where, at certain times of year, the only water is found in what are called tanajas, natural stone basins that collect rainwater. They are hidden, sometimes in shadow, and to the thirsty traveler, finding one is a miracle. The water isn't flowing in a stream, it is held in stillness. Your capacity for peace is like a tanaja. It is not a rushing river you must chase. It is a reservoir already within you, collected drop by drop from the rains of your conscious attention. When you feel parched by the heat of worry or the dust of busyness, you do not need to dig a new well. You simply need to remember where your tanaja is. You find it by becoming still. In the stillness, you lower the bucket of your awareness and draw up the cool, clear water of presence. It has been there all along, waiting in the shaded rock of your own heart. Your practice is not to create peace, but to remember where it is held. We are all amateur astronomers of our inner universe. We focus our telescopes on the blazing stars of big emotions, the supernova of anger, the brilliant planet of joy. But we ignore the dark matter. In space, dark matter does not emit light, but it makes up most of the universe's mass. It is the invisible force that holds galaxies together. In you, the dark matter is the silent, background hum of being. It is the sense of, I am, before any thought or feeling. It is the space between thoughts, the stillness beneath sensations. We overlook it because it doesn't shine. But it is what holds the entire constellation of your experience together. Tonight, turn your telescope away from the bright, noisy stars of thought and emotion. Point it into the deep, quiet space between them. Sense the vast, holding presence that is there. That is your true gravitational center. That is what you truly are. The stars are beautiful, but they are held by the dark. I watched a master bookbinder in Florence restore a 15th century manuscript. The pages were fragile, some torn, the ink faded. He did not rush. He worked with a magnifying lens, a steady hand, and a reverence that was palpable. He told me, the damage is part of the story. I am not here to make it look new. I am here to honor its age, to repair with such care that the repair itself becomes part of its history. You are both the ancient manuscript and the bookbinder. The torn pages of past hurts, the faded ink of old joys, they are your history. The work of healing is not about erasing the damage to pretend it never happened. It is about repairing with the gentle, reverent care of your own attention. Your mindful awareness is the steady hand, the magnifying lens of compassion. You are not making yourself new. You are making yourself whole, with every scar, every tear, every faded memory integrated lovingly into the binding of your being. The repair becomes part of your beauty. We think of habits as chains. Bad habits bind us, good habits free us. But what if a habit is not a chain, but a riverbed? Over time, the repeated flow of thought or action cuts a channel in the landscape of your brain. The more water that flows, the deeper the channel, until the water, your impulse, follows that path almost automatically. You cannot will the water to stop flowing. But you can, with gentle persistence, begin to dig a new channel alongside the old one. At first, it's just a trickle. You consciously choose a different response, a breath instead of a reaction, a kind word instead of criticism. You divert a little water into the new channel. It feels awkward, insufficient. But with each repetition, the new channel deepens. One day, during a storm of emotion, you'll find the water naturally chooses the deeper, wiser channel you've been patiently carving. Transformation is not about breaking chains. It's about the patient, hydrological engineering of your own mind, redirecting the flow of your life toward freedom. In the north of Iceland, there are fields of moss that grow over jagged, brutal lava fields from centuries-old eruptions. The moss is soft, emerald green, and inches thick. It does not remove the sharp, black rock. It grows over it, cushioning it, turning a landscape of past violence into one of serene, fuzzy beauty. It takes decades. Your past traumas, sharp memories, hardened resentments, they are your lava fields. You cannot dig them up. But you can grow moss. The moss is made of tiny moments of kindness, to yourself and others. It is the soft green of a gentle thought, the cushion of a conscious breath. It grows slowly, silently, over the sharpest edges. One day, you will look within and instead of seeing only the jagged, painful rock, you will feel a soft, living landscape covering it. The rock is still there, part of your foundation. But it is now held in an embrace of living softness. Start growing your moss today. One tender thought is a spore. We often wait for a feeling to be fully processed before we allow ourselves to move on. It's as if we believe there's a finish line for grief, a certificate of completion for anxiety. But feelings are not tasks. They are visitors with their own passports and itineraries. You cannot control when they arrive or when they depart. You can only offer them hospitality while they are in your home. A visitor who feels welcomed and seen often finishes their tea and leaves of their own accord. A visitor who is shoved into a closet or argued with at the door tends to linger, making noise. The art is in the hospitality. When sadness visits, you say, "Hello, sadness. Would you like to sit by the fire? You look tired." You don't have to become best friends. You just have to let it be there, without resistance. Often, that simple, non-violent acknowledgement is all it needed. It finishes its tea, thanks you, and goes on its way. Your heart is not a processing plant. It is a guest house. Keep the porch light on for all your feelings. There is a concept in navigation called dead reckoning. It's when a sailor, without visible stars or landmarks, must calculate their position based on their last known point, their speed, and the time elapsed. It is prone to error. The longer you go without a fixed point, the more lost you can become. Our minds are in a constant state of dead reckoning. We take our last known emotional state, "I was anxious this morning," and project forward, estimating where we should be now, creating stories about where we're headed. We get lost in the estimation. Mindfulness is the act of finding a fixed celestial point. It is the North Star of the present sensation. What do I actually feel in my body right now? What do I actually hear? This is not an estimate. This is a direct observation. It stops the drift of dead reckoning. No matter how far your thoughts have sailed into the ocean of worry, you can always look up, find the fixed star of this breath, and recalculate your true position, here. Now. Safe in the vastness of this single moment. Have you ever watched a heron fish? It stands perfectly still in the shallows for what seems like an eternity. Its body is a statue. It is not doing nothing. It is immersed in a profound, patient attention. It is feeling the water, watching the light, sensing the minute vibrations that signal movement below. Then, in a flash too quick to follow, it strikes. Its stillness was not passive. It was the essential precondition for precise, effective action. We have forgotten the power of this kind of stillness. We equate movement with productivity and stillness with waste. But the heron knows, clarity and right action are born from deep, attentive rest. Your mind, churning with plans and reactions, is like muddy water. Nothing can be seen clearly. The practice of mindful stillness is not about checking out. It is about letting the mud settle. In the clear water that results, you can see what is actually there. You can sense the right moment. You can act from a place of seeing, not from a place of frantic stirring. Be the heron. Stand still in the shallows of this moment. Let the mud of your thoughts settle. Your true sight will return. In the high deserts of Nevada, there are trees called bristlecone pines. They are the oldest living non-clonal organisms on Earth. Some are over 5,000 years old. Their environment is harsh. Bitter cold, ferocious wind, poor soil, intense ultraviolet light. And this is the secret to their longevity. The harsh conditions force them to grow with incredible density. Their wood is so resinous and dense it becomes almost stone-like, resistant to insects, rot, and fire. They grow slowly, contorted by the wind into breathtaking, sculptural forms. They are not despite the hardship, they are because of it. Your most difficult experiences. The winds of loss, the frost of rejection, the poor soil of failure, these are not destroying you. They are forcing you to grow dense, resilient, and beautiful in a way that comfort never could. Your character is being seasoned into something timeless. You are not being killed by the storm, you are being turned into a bristlecone pine. Honored. Ancient. Unbreakably alive. We treat our thoughts as commands. A thought arises, you are not good enough. And we immediately mobilize as if this were a royal decree, scrambling to prove it wrong or collapsing because we believe it true. But what if a thought is not a command? What if it is merely a cloud passing through the sky of your awareness? You do not obey a cloud. You do not argue with it. You might note its shape, a cumulonimbus of self-doubt, and watch it drift on by. Your freedom lies in the pause between the cloud's appearance and your reaction to it. In that pause, you remember. You are the sky, not the weather. The next time a painful or persistent thought arises, try this. Instead of engaging with its content, notice its texture. Is it sharp? Dull? Heavy? Fast? Give it a color. By shifting your relationship from content to sensory observation, you break the spell. The thought loses its power to command you. It becomes just another fascinating formation in the vast atmosphere of your mind. There is a practice among some indigenous cultures of the Pacific Northwest called taking a breath of the mountains. When feeling scattered or troubled, a person will face the distant, snow-capped peaks, and with a slow, deliberate inhalation, imagine drawing the mountain steadfastness into their own body. With the exhalation, they release their turmoil into the mountain's vast, immovable presence. You may not have a physical mountain outside your window, but you have an inner mountain. It is the part of you that has never been hurt, never been anxious, never been disappointed. It is the silent, witnessing core of your being. Right now, you can take a breath of the mountain. Inhale, and feel that unshakable, ancient stillness within you. Exhale, and let your temporary worries be held by that eternal solidity. You are not just the shifting weather on the slopes. You are also the mountain itself. Breathe as the mountain. Feel your roots in the earth of now. Feel your peak touching the sky of awareness. You are both grounded and vast. We often speak of the mind as a mirror, reflecting reality. But a mirror is passive and brittle. Perhaps the mind is better understood as a lake. A lake is active. It reflects the sky, but it also has depth, currents, and life within it. When the wind is calm, the reflection is clear. When the wind is strong, the reflection shatters into a million dancing fragments. Our task is not to keep the lake perfectly still at all times, an impossible task. Our task is to remember that whether the surface is mirror calm or chaos of whitecaps, the depth remains unchanged. The fish still swim. The plants still grow. The deep, cool water is still there. Your peace is in the depth, not in the perfection of the surface reflection. When your mind is choppy with worry, don't try to smooth the surface. Instead, sense down into the depths. Feel the steady, cool, dark stillness that exists below the wind of your thoughts. You can retreat there. You can rest there. The surface will calm in its own time, but you don't have to wait for it to find peace. Peace is already in the deep water. I recall a conversation with a master violin maker in Cremona, Italy. He said the most critical step is listening to the wood. He taps it and listens to its resonance. He chooses wood not for its perfect grain, but for its song. The violin already exists inside the wood, he said. My job is to remove everything that is not the violin. Your true self, your essential nature of peace and awareness, already exists within you. It is not something you need to build from scratch. The practice of mindfulness is the careful, compassionate removal of everything that is not that, the layers of habitual thought, the crust of old resentment, the varnish of false identity. You are not creating peace. You are uncovering the instrument that is already there, waiting to resonate with the music of life. Each moment of awareness is a careful tap, listening for the true song beneath the noise. Each breath is a gentle removal of a tiny shaving of distraction. You are the luthier of your own soul. Trust that the masterpiece is already within the wood of your being. Your job is to listen, and to carve away with love. We believe we must stay strong, which we interpret as staying rigid, unmoved, impenetrable. But there is a strength in the vulnerability of the shoreline. The shore is constantly changed by the ocean. It is eroded here, built up there. It receives every wave, every piece of driftwood, every shell. It does not resist. And in this non-resistance, it possesses a dynamic, ever-changing strength. It defines the ocean's edge. It is the place where two worlds meet. Your emotional strength is not a fortress wall. It is the shoreline of your heart. Let the waves of feeling come. Let them touch you. Let them change your shape. This is not weakness. This is the dynamic, creative interaction between your inner world and the outer world of experience. You are not meant to be an unchanging cliff. You are meant to be a living shore, shaped by the tides, home to countless forms of life, beautiful in your adaptability. Let yourself be reshaped. This is how you remain alive. Consider the humble neuron. In your brain, billions of them fire, creating the symphony of your consciousness. But a single neuron never touches another. There is always a tiny gap, the synaptic cleft. The signal must leap across this void as a chemical spark. Everything you think, feel, and remember depends on these leaps across emptiness. Your entire experience of reality is built on connections across spaces. Isn't that beautiful? Your sense of isolation, the gap you feel between yourself and others, between your current state and peace, is not a flaw. It is the essential architecture of connection. Peace is not the elimination of the gap, it is the willingness to send the spark across it. When you breathe with intention, you are sending a spark of awareness across the synaptic cleft between unconsciousness and consciousness. When you offer kindness to yourself in a moment of pain, you are bridging the gap between judgment and compassion. The void is not your enemy. It is the space where magic happens. Where connection is chosen, again and again. I once got lost in a maze of alleyways in the Medina of Fez, Morocco. The noise, the smells, the press of people, it was overwhelming. My map was useless. Panic began to rise. Then I saw an old man sitting on a stool by a tiny shop, sipping mint tea. I asked for help. He didn't give me directions. He simply said, "Look up." I did. Above the chaotic alley, the sky was a perfect, calm blue. And strung between the rooftops were dozens of lines, with laundry fluttering like peaceful flags. He said, "The way is complicated. But the sky is simple. Remember the sky, and your feet will find the path." When you are lost in the mental Medina of worry, strategy, and confusion, the details are overwhelming. The map of logic fails. This is when you must look up. Find the sky of your breath. See the simple laundry lines of your heartbeat, your body's presence. The complicated way remains, but you are no longer identified with the maze. You are connected to the simple, spacious sky above it. From that connection, your inner guidance can begin to navigate. Look up. We treat our bodies like rented vehicles. We complain about their performance, curse them when they break down, fuel them with whatever is cheapest and fastest, and rarely thank them for the journey. But your body is not a rental. It is the vehicle your soul crafted for this specific journey. It has carried you through every single experience. It has learned the gait of your joys and the posture of your sorrows. Its aches are often the memories it holds in its tissues. Tonight, try a different relationship. In your mind's eye, place your hands on your own shoulders, as you would comfort a dear friend. Thank this body. Thank the heart that has beat without fail since before you were born. Thank the lungs that have drawn in life, breath after breath. Thank the eyes that have seen beauty, the ears that have heard music, the hands that have felt touch. This body is your oldest, most loyal companion. It deserves your kindness, not your criticism. Treat it like the sacred vessel it is. There is a phenomenon in physics called supercooling. You can cool a pure liquid below its freezing point without it turning solid, as long as it is perfectly still. The slightest disturbance, a single vibration, will cause it to instantly crystallize into ice. Your mind can be like this. You maintain a precarious, tense calm through sheer force of will, avoiding any disturbance. This is exhausting. True calm is not supercooled stillness. It is the warmth of acceptance that allows the natural state to flow. It doesn't fear disturbance because it knows it can handle the natural cycles of freezing and melting. Let go of the fragile, will-powered calm. Allow the natural vibrations of life to touch you. You may freeze into a moment of fear or melt into a moment of grief. This is natural. The warmth of your awareness will always return you to flow. You are not a supercooled liquid, one jolt away from shattering. You are water, in all its phases, part of an eternal, resilient cycle. We speak of finding ourselves as if we are a set of lost keys. We search under the couch cushions of experience, in the pockets of past relationships. But you are not an object to be found. You are the searcher. And the searcher is already present. The feeling of being lost is just the searcher momentarily fascinated by the dust under the couch, mistaking it for itself. To find yourself is to stop searching and realize you are the one who is looking. It is to rest as the aware presence that is conducting the search. Right now, feel the presence that is hearing these words. That is you. Not the thoughts about the words, not the emotions they stir, but the aware space in which all of that is happening. You were never lost. You were just looking in the wrong direction, outward, instead of inward at the looker. Turn your attention 180 degrees, away from the objects of experience, and toward the subject who is experiencing. There you are. You have been here all along. In the salt flats of Bolivia, the horizon disappears. The ground and sky mirror each other in a blinding white infinity. It is easy to become disoriented, to lose all sense of scale and direction. The only way to navigate is by looking down at your own feet, at the immediate ground, and following a path one step at a time. When you are in an emotional or spiritual flatland, where no landmarks of meaning or future hope are visible, looking ahead can induce panic. The horizon of, when I'll be happy, is gone. This is not a disaster. It is an invitation to a different kind of navigation. Look down. Feel your feet on the ground of this moment. What is the immediate sensation? The next breath? The next small, kind action you can take for yourself? Navigate by the micro-landmarks of the present. One conscious step. Then another. You don't need to see the distant horizon. You just need to see the ground directly beneath you. That is how you cross the vastness. One foot in front of the other, here, now. The mind loves to conclude. This is who I am. This is how it will always be. I understand what this means. Conclusions are mental coffins. They seal experience into a dead, fixed story. Life is not conclusive. It is ongoing. A tree does not conclude it is an acorn, or a sapling. It is always becoming. You are a process, not a conclusion. When you find yourself concluding, I am an anxious person, or, my life is meaningless, hear the sound of a nail being hammered into a coffin. Stop. Breathe. Ask, is this truly over? Or is it still happening? You are still breathing. Therefore, you are still becoming. Pry open the coffin lid of conclusion with the crowbar of curiosity. I notice anxiety is here now. What is it like? This returns you to the living process. You are not a finished story. You are a sentence being written, a tree growing, a river finding its way. Never let your mind bury you alive in its conclusions. Imagine your awareness as a vast, clear night sky. Your thoughts and feelings are like satellites, man-made objects crossing that sky, reflecting light, following programmed orbits. Some are communication satellites of worry, beaming repetitive signals. Some are spy satellites of self-judgment, taking grainy pictures of your perceived flaws. You can spend your whole life training your telescope on these satellites, tracking their paths, believing they are the most important things in the cosmos. But they are not the cosmos. They are tiny, temporary artifacts passing through the boundless, silent, star-filled depth that is your true nature. The practice of mindfulness is not about shooting down the satellites. It is about tilting your gaze away from their frantic orbits and back into the profound, still beauty of the star field itself, the essential awareness that was there before the first satellite launched and will be there after they all decay and fall. The satellites will come and go. The sky remains. Be the sky, not the satellite tracker. There is a Japanese technique of repairing broken pottery with gold, called kintsugi. The break is not hidden, it is illuminated. The flaw becomes the focal point of beauty. We understand this as a metaphor for embracing our wounds. But there's a deeper layer. The gold isn't just adhesive, it is more valuable than the original pottery. The repair does not return the bowl to its original, lesser value. It transforms it into an object of greater worth. Your healing is not about returning to who you were before the break, a naive, uncracked vessel. It is about allowing the precious metal of your conscious awareness, your hard-won wisdom, your deepened compassion, to flow into the cracks. You become more valuable, more interesting, more beautiful because of the break, not in spite of it. Don't aim to be the unbroken bowl. Aim to be the kintsugi masterpiece, where your golden awareness holds your history together, making it shine. We think of patience as waiting for something outside us to change. For the traffic to move, for the person to apologize, for the pain to subside. But true patience is not external. It is an internal orientation of kindness toward the present moment, exactly as it is. It is the willingness to keep your heart open while things are unresolved. I learned this from watching a master fisherman in the Outer Hebrides mend his nets. The work was tedious, knot by knot. He wasn't waiting for the net to be finished. He was in the mending. His patience was the quality of his attention on each loop and tie. Your healing, your growth, is the mending of your net. Patience is not the grim wait for the finished product. It is the gentle, sustained attention you bring to the very next knot, the next breath, the next kind thought, the next small choice. Be patient not with the future, but with this. With the knot your fingers are on right now. The ego is not your enemy. It is a overzealous, misunderstood secretary. Its job was to help the CEO, your conscious awareness, navigate the social world. It took notes on your successes and failures to craft a resume. It developed strategies to avoid pain. But somewhere along the line, the secretary locked the CEO out of the office, sat at the big desk, and started running the company based on outdated memos and fear-based policies. Mindfulness is not about firing the secretary. It's about the CEO quietly walking back into the office, gently touching the secretary on the shoulder, and saying, "Thank you for your hard work. I'll take it from here." The ego, relieved to no longer carry a burden it was never designed for, can finally relax into its proper, supportive role. You are the CEO. Your awareness is your authority. Gently reclaim your seat. In the deep ocean, there is no light. Creatures create their own. Bioluminescence. A galaxy in the dark. Your darkest moments, those times of despair, loneliness, or confusion where no external light seems to reach, are like this deep sea. You may feel plunged into an abyss. But this is precisely the environment where your inner light has the opportunity to activate. Your kindness toward your own pain is a bioluminescent spark. A moment of courage is a flash. A conscious breath is a soft, glowing pulse. You may not be able to see the sun from here, but you can become a constellation of your own making. The darkness is not emptiness. It is the canvas for your inner illumination. Do not curse the dark. Light up. We are taught to live in the present, but this can feel like a prison if we misunderstand it. The present is not a cramped cell between the past and future. It is a wide-open field. The past and future are not walls, they are weather patterns moving across this field. Memories are like rain falling from clouds that formed elsewhere. Anticipations are like the shadow of a cloud yet to arrive. You, as awareness, are the field itself. You are not damaged by the rain of memory. You are not diminished by the shadow of worry. You receive them, you are moistened or shaded by them, but your fundamental nature, open, grounded, fertile, remains unchanged. You don't have to stay in the present. You are the present. You are the field. Let the weather of time pass through you. You are what remains, spacious, alive, and capable of growing whatever you choose to plant in your soil. There is a type of clock called a torsion pendulum clock that runs on the slow, almost imperceptible twist and untwist of a fine thread. It is incredibly accurate and can run for years on a single wind. Its power is in its minimal, sustained movement. Our nervous systems are not built for the jarring, second-hand ticks of constant crisis and reaction. They are built for the slow, rhythmic torsion of breath, of diurnal cycles, of deliberate action. The anxiety of modern life is like trying to run a torsion clock with a hammer. We are smashing the mechanism. Your practice of mindfulness is the gentle rewinding of your inner torsion pendulum. You return to the minimal, sustained movement of breath awareness. You let the frantic hammering stop. And in that quiet, you find your natural, accurate, enduring rhythm. You don't need more energy. You need less violence in your application of it. Wind your clock with a whisper, not a shout. Consider the mycelial network beneath a forest floor, a vast, intricate web of fungal threads connecting trees, sharing nutrients, sending warning signals. Scientists call it the Wood Wide Web. A single tree is not an isolated entity, it is a node in this conscious, communicating network. Your sense of isolation is an illusion of perspective. You are not a lone tree. You are connected to everything through the mycelium of consciousness itself. The peace you cultivate in your own heart doesn't just benefit you, it sends signals of calm through the network. The kindness you offer yourself is a nutrient that can be shared. When you feel alone in your suffering, remember the mycelium. Your roots are intertwined with all of life. Your healing matters to the whole forest. Breathe, and feel the silent, supportive connection spreading out from you in all directions. I watched a master weaver in Oaxaca create a rug on a giant loom. From her vantage point, she could only see the tangled underside, a chaos of loose threads, knots, and confusing patterns. But on the other side, facing the world, a magnificent, ordered tapestry was emerging. We live our lives on the underside of the loom. We see the knots, the loose ends, the apparent chaos of our choices and feelings. It seems messy, meaningless, fraught with error. But what if there is another side? A side where a benevolent, compassionate intelligence, call it life itself, call it your deepest self, is weaving a pattern of breathtaking complexity and beauty that we, from our limited perspective, cannot comprehend. Your faith is not blind belief. It is the quiet trust that the messy underside you experience is not the whole story. The next time you are tangled in a knot of anxiety or grief, touch the thread of your breath and remember, you are part of a weaving. The pattern is larger than your view. Trust the weaver. We treat our emotions like uninvited guests, slamming the door, pretending we're not home. Or we treat them like honored royalty, giving them the throne and letting them rule the kingdom. There is a middle way, treat them like neighbors. A neighbor knocks on your door. You answer. You don't have to invite them in for a week, but you also don't slam the door in their face. You acknowledge them. Hello, anger. I see you're there. It's not a great time for a long visit, but I acknowledge your presence. Then you can close the door and go about your business, having paid the basic respect of recognition. The neighbor, acknowledged, often goes away. Or if they are truly important, they will knock again, and you can decide then if you need to have a longer conversation. This is emotional boundaries with compassion. You are not your emotions' servant, nor their enemy. You are their neighbor. Be cordial, but know you have your own home to tend. There is a principle in chaos theory called sensitive dependence on initial conditions, the butterfly effect. A tiny change in a complex system can lead to vastly different outcomes. Your next conscious breath is that butterfly. It seems insignificant. What can one breath do against the storm of an anxious mind, the weight of a depressed mood? But you are a complex, chaotic, beautiful system. That single, intentional breath is a minute change in your initial condition, the condition of this moment. You cannot predict the vast, positive outcomes that may ripple from it. A breath of patience may prevent a harsh word. A breath of space may allow a new thought to form. A breath of acceptance may begin the softening of a lifelong resistance. Don't underestimate the power of the butterfly in your chest. Flap its wings. Breathe with intention. You have no idea what hurricanes of suffering you may avert, or what gardens of peace you may begin to grow, with that one, small, deliberate change. We speak of self-improvement as if we are a fixer-upper house, new paint here, or repaired floor there. But you are not a house. You are a landscape. A landscape doesn't improve, it changes with the seasons. The frozen silence of winter is not worse than the abundance of summer. It is a different kind of beauty, a necessary phase of rest and clarity. Your periods of contraction, sadness, or low energy are not failures of self-improvement. They are your winter. They are when the leaves of distraction fall, and you can see the bare, elegant structure of your soul. The ground hardens, forcing your roots deeper. Be the landscape. Honor your winters. They are not opposing your growth, they are defining its rhythm. You don't improve a landscape. You learn its seasons and appreciate each one for what it reveals. In the silence of a Quaker meeting, there is no leader, no planned sermon. People sit in stillness until someone is moved to speak from the depth of their heart. The words that arise from that collective silence are often profound, timely, and healing. Your own mind is such a meeting. You have been trying to be the loud, planning, worrying speaker who dominates the proceedings. But there are other members in the meeting. The intuitive heart, the wise body, the silent witness. Mindfulness is the practice of stopping your own mental chatter and sitting in the silent meeting of your being. You wait. You listen. You create the condition where deeper, wiser voices, a sense of knowing, a gut feeling, a sudden clarity, can be moved to speak. Your intuition is not heard over the noise of constant thought. It is heard in the respectful silence of your attention. Hold a Quaker meeting in your heart today. Sit in silence. Listen. What is moved to speak? We think of courage as the absence of fear. But that's not courage, that's either denial or brain damage. True courage is the conscious, gentle movement with fear. It is fear's dance partner. I knew a woman who had a terrible phobia of bridges. She didn't try to eliminate the fear. She learned to say to it, "I know you're here to protect me. Thank you. But we need to cross this bridge. You can come with me. I won't leave you behind." She would feel the terror in her body, acknowledge it, breathe with it, and take one step, then another, the fear vibrating in her every cell. She wasn't fearless. She was in relationship with her fear. That is the highest courage. Your anxiety, your shame, your grief, you don't need to eradicate them to be brave. You need to take their hand, acknowledge their presence, and move forward with them. You can come with me. This changes everything. You are no longer fighting a civil war inside. You are leading an integrated company on a difficult, but united, march. Imagine your mind as a vast, still pond at dawn. A thought is like a pebble dropped into its center. Plink. Ripples expand in perfect circles, traveling to the very shore. We spend our lives identifying with the ripples, the agitated, expanding circles of reaction. That thought means this, which leads to that, and then this terrible thing will happen. We follow the ripples outwards into anxiety. But what if you could train your attention to stay at the point of the plink? The point of impact, where the pebble first touches the water. That point is the present moment sensation before the story expands. The tightness in the chest. The catch in the breath. The raw data of experience. By resting your awareness at the plink, you never get swept away by the ripples. The ripples still form, but they dissolve against the shore of your awareness without pulling you into their drama. The next time a troubling thought arises, don't follow the ripples. Find the plink. Feel the immediate sensation. Abide there. The pond will return to stillness much more quickly. There is a form of Japanese garden where the main feature is not plants, but arranged stones and raked gravel. It is called karasansui, a dry landscape. The gravel is raked into patterns that represent flowing water or waves. The gardener's job is to maintain the pattern, knowing it will be disturbed by wind and rain. The beauty lies in the intention of the pattern, and in the act of raking it anew, not in its permanent perfection. Your peace of mind is like that raked gravel garden. You will rake it into beautiful patterns of calm through meditation, through breath, through conscious living. And then life, the wind of unexpected news, the rain of difficult emotion, will disturb it. This is not failure. This is the nature of the garden. The practice is not to build a stone wall against the weather. The practice is to take up the rake again, without frustration, and restore the pattern. The act of mindful return is the beauty. The disturbed pattern was just an opportunity to practice your raking. Your mind is a dry garden. Pick up your rake gently. Begin again. We think of our personality as a solid, carved statue. But it's more like a sand dune. The wind of experience constantly reshapes it. The you of 10 years ago has eroded and been deposited elsewhere. The you of tomorrow is forming right now. This can feel terrifying. Where is the permanent me? But it is also liberating. You are not trapped in a fixed form. You are a beautiful, shifting landscape. The work is not to cement the dune into a rigid shape against the wind. The work is to learn to love the process of being reshaped. To feel the grains of old habits blow away. To welcome the new contours that experiences deposit. You are not losing yourself. You are participating in the beautiful, eternal geology of being human. You are a dune in the desert of time. Marvel at your changing shape. In the world of audio engineering, there is a concept called noise floor. It is the level of background hiss in a recording system below which no signal can be heard. A high noise floor drowns out subtle, beautiful sounds. Our minds have a noise floor. The constant, low-grade hum of background anxiety, planning, mental commentary, and restless energy. We get so used to it we think it's silence. But it's this noise floor that drowns out the subtle signals of intuition, peace, and the simple joy of being. Meditation is not about adding a beautiful melody on top of the noise. It is the patient, gradual lowering of the noise floor itself. Each conscious breath turns down the volume on the mental static. As the noise floor drops, you begin to hear the exquisite, subtle music that was always playing beneath it, the hum of your own aliveness, the quiet signal of your heart, the vast silence of presence. Don't try to play louder music. Turn down the noise. I visited an observatory in Chile's Atacama Desert, the driest place on Earth. The astronomer told me they built it there not despite the harshness, but because of it. The complete lack of moisture and ambient light, the very factors that make life difficult, create the clearest possible window to the stars. Your most barren periods, times of loss, loneliness, or simple exhaustion, when the usual greenery of happiness seems to have died off, can feel like a spiritual desert. But consider the Atacama. This barrenness might not be a curse. It might be creating the clearest possible conditions for you to see your own inner stars. The fixed points of your values, the constellations of your deepest truths, the nebulae of your soul's purpose. When life is lush, it's easy to be distracted by the foliage. In the desert, you are forced to look up at the infinite. If you are in a desert time, don't just look for water. Look up. The view of the cosmos from there is unparalleled. We often treat happiness as a foreign destination we need a passport and a plane ticket to reach. We save up for the trip, plan the itinerary, and endure the long flight of effort to get there. But what if happiness is not a country? What if it is your native language? You were born fluent in the dialect of joy, the grammar of wonder. Life, with its lessons and pains, made you learn other languages, the complex syntax of worry, the harsh vocabulary of self-criticism. You became so fluent in these second languages you forgot your mother tongue. Mindfulness is not a journey to a foreign land. It is the practice of remembering your native language. Each moment of simple noticing, the warmth of a cup, the pattern of light on a wall, is a word spoken in your original tongue. You don't need a ticket. You just need to stop trying to speak in a foreign language to yourself. Listen for the familiar grammar of peace. It has been whispering to you all along. The heart is not a simple pump. It has its own intrinsic nervous system, sometimes called the heart-brain. It sends more signals to the head brain than it receives. Your heart is not just following orders, it is informing your mind. When you are caught in a loop of anxious thinking, it is like having a loud, shouting manager in your head office. The gentle, wise whispers from the heart boardroom cannot be heard. The practice of placing a hand on your heart, of breathing into your chest, is not sentimental. It is a strategic corporate takeover. You are quieting the shouting manager of the head and turning up the volume on the heart's wise, intuitive counsel. Your heart knows things your mind hasn't figured out yet. Let it speak. Feel its rhythm. Your heart's intelligence is not emotional mush, it is a different, often wiser, kind of data processing. Listen to the boardroom in your chest. There is a type of ancient pottery found in the American Southwest called mica flect. The clay itself contains tiny specks of a reflective mineral. When a piece is fired, these flecks don't melt, they remain embedded, catching the light. To the naked eye, the pot might look plain, even rough. But when sunlight hits it, it sparkles as if filled with 1,000 tiny stars. Your perceived flaws, your rough edges, the parts of yourself you wish were smoother, what if they are not imperfections, but mica flecks? They are the very things that catch the light of awareness and make you glitter. Under the dull light of self-judgment, you see only the rough clay. But under the sunlight of your own kind attention, those same traits sparkle, becoming sources of unique beauty and reflection. Don't try to sand away your mica flecks. Learn to shine the light of your compassion upon them, and see how you glitter. We conceive of time as a thief, stealing our youth, our opportunities, our loved ones. But time is not a thief. It is a river, and you are not a static object on the bank being eroded. You are the water. You are the flow itself. The molecules that make up the river are constantly changing, but the river retains its identity, its song, its direction. The you that worries about time is like a single water molecule fearing it will cease to be water when it merges with the ocean. But it was always part of the ocean, just in river form for a while. You are not being stolen from. You are transforming, merging, flowing. Your essence was never the temporary configuration of the molecule, but the wetness, the fluidity, the capacity to flow and reflect the sky. You are not losing time. You are being time. Flow with it. In a traditional sailing ship, the crow's nest is a small platform high on the main mast. From there, a sailor can see storms brewing over the horizon long before those on deck feel the first gust. Your awareness is your crow's nest. When you are lost in the daily tasks on deck, the thoughts, the chores, the drama, your vision is limited to the immediate waves. Meditation, prayer, simple silence, these are the climb up the mast to the crow's nest. It takes effort. The ladder of concentration sways. But when you reach the top and settle in, your perspective shifts. You see the storm of your anxiety as a distant weather pattern, not as the entire world. You see the clear sky beyond it. You see other ships, other people. On their own journeys. This panoramic view doesn't make the waves disappear, but it puts them in context. You regain your bearings. Make it a daily practice to climb to your crow's nest. Even a few conscious breaths is like peeking over the rail. See the larger horizon. It will calm the sailor in you. We treat our beliefs about ourselves as if they are scientific facts, proven by repeated experiment. I am lazy. I am unlovable. I am a failure. But these are not facts. They are hypotheses, theories your mind formed from limited, often painful, data from the past. The scientific method requires that you test a hypothesis with new experiments. Your life is an ongoing laboratory. The next moment is a fresh experiment. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing rigorous, curious attention to this new data. Instead of assuming the old hypothesis is true, here I go again, being lazy, you observe the present experiment with an open mind. What is actually happening right now? What is my energy level? What is my intention? You might find the new data doesn't fit the old theory. You might discover you are capable of focus, worthy of kindness, or simply being, without any label at all. Be a scientist of your own experience. Question your oldest hypotheses. The truth is always found in the present experiment. There is a phenomenon in optics called critical angle. It is the precise angle at which light, traveling through a denser medium like water, hits a boundary with a less dense medium like air, and instead of passing through, it reflects entirely back inward. Total internal reflection. It's how fiber optic cables carry light for miles. Your attention has a critical angle. When you direct it outward onto the world of problems, people, and possessions, it often refracts, scatters, and loses its power. But when you direct it inward, at the correct angle of gentle, non-judgmental curiosity, it hits the boundary of your own being and reflects entirely back, illuminating your inner depths. This inner light can then travel vast distances through the fiber optic cable of your consciousness, guiding you from within. We spend our lives pointing our attention outward at shallow angles, wondering why we feel so dim. Turn your gaze inward, past the critical angle. Experience total internal reflection. Light up your own depths. I met a woman in the Scottish Highlands who kept bees. She said the most important tool is not the smoker or the hive tool, but the beekeeper's state of mind. Bees sense agitation. If you approach with fear or hurry, they become defensive. If you approach with a calm, respectful, slow presence, they allow you to work. Your own mind is a hive. Your thoughts and emotions are the bees. When you approach your inner world with the frantic smoke of distraction or the sharp tool of judgment, it erupts in a defensive swarm of anxiety. But when you approach yourself with the calm, slow, respectful presence of mindfulness, the hive settles. You can observe the complex, beautiful work happening inside without being stung. You are the beekeeper of your soul. Your primary tool is the quality of your own presence. Approach yourself with calm respect. The honey of insight is waiting. We think of forgiveness as something we do for someone else, a moral achievement. But true forgiveness is an internal release, the letting go of a story that is poisoning your own well. It is not saying what happened was okay. It is recognizing that carrying the story of the wrong is like drinking the poison yourself and hoping the other person dies. The story is the poison. Forgiveness is setting down the cup. You don't have to invite the person who wronged you to tea. You simply stop drinking the toxic narrative every day. This often happens not through force of will, but through a deeper understanding, seeing the other person's suffering, seeing your own role, or simply seeing how the story has aged and soured within you. When you are ready, look at the cup of that old story in your hand. See its bitterness. And gently, without drama, set it down. The well of your present moment holds fresh, clean water. Drink from that instead. Consider the humble compass. Its power lies not in creating north, but in faithfully aligning with a magnetic field that already, always exists. Your mind is often like a compass spinning wildly, trying to find north in a room full of magnets, the pull of others' opinions, the attraction of past regrets, the repulsion of future fears. It spins, dizzy and disoriented. Mindfulness is the act of gently placing this mental compass on a level surface, away from interference, and letting it settle. The true north of your being, the quiet pull of presence, the magnetic field of your heart's deepest knowing, is always there. You don't need to create peace. You need to remove the other magnets and let the needle come to rest. Your true north is not an idea. It is a felt sense of alignment, right here, right now. Let the spinning stop. Feel for the pull. In the art of sumi-e, Japanese ink painting, the artist must prepare the ink by grinding an ink stick against a stone with water. This process is slow, rhythmic, and meditative. It cannot be rushed. The quality of the line, the depth of the black, depends entirely on the care taken in this preparation. We often want to jump straight to painting the picture of our lives, to the actions, the achievements, the visible results. We skip the grinding. We use cheap, pre-made ink of reactive emotion and half-formed thought. Our lines are blurry, our compositions weak. Your mindfulness practice is the grinding of the ink stick. It is the slow, patient preparation of the medium of your awareness. This time of seeming non-action, sitting, breathing, noticing, is what creates the rich, deep, black ink from which a clear and graceful life can be painted. Honor the grinding. The painting will take care of itself. We believe our memories are like books on a shelf, fixed, complete, to be taken down and read. But neuroscience reveals memory is more like a performance. Each time we recall, we are not pulling down a book, we are rewriting the script based on our current state, and then putting that new version back on the shelf. The past is not fixed. It is a story you are subtly editing every time you remember it. This is not deception, it is neuroplasticity. It is freedom. You have the power to change your relationship to your past by how you choose to remember it now. Not by denying facts, but by infusing the memory with the compassion of your present awareness. That painful memory from years ago, can you hold it now with the understanding you didn't have then? Can you see the other actors in the drama with more empathy? You are not stuck with a first draft. You are the author, with the power of compassionate revision. Edit gently. There is a type of old, mechanical clock that must be wound. If you wind it too tightly, the spring can snap or the mechanism becomes strained, keeping poor time. If you don't wind it enough, it stops. There is a sweet spot, enough tension to drive the gears, but not so much that it threatens the system. Your nervous system is this clock. The demands of life wind the spring. Mindfulness is the act of feeling the tension in the spring. It is knowing when you are wound too tight. The feeling of brittleness, irritation, sleeplessness. And it is knowing when you are unwound, the feeling of lethargy, disconnection. Your practice is to find the daily winding that maintains the sweet spot, enough engagement to feel alive, enough relaxation to remain resilient. You are not trying to be an unwound, still clock. You are trying to be a beautifully functioning one, ticking in rhythm with life, maintained by your own conscious touch. I walked through the ruins of an ancient Roman aqueduct in the south of France. What remains are just the towering arches. The water is long gone. Yet, looking at it, you don't think, how sad, the water is gone. You marvel at the architecture, the ingenuity, the endurance of the stone. The purpose of the structure was to carry water, but its beauty is revealed in its empty, enduring form. Your life has aqueducts, structures you built for a purpose. A career path to carry security, a relationship to carry love, a belief system to carry meaning. Sometimes, the water stops flowing. The purpose seems to dry up. But that is when you can see the architecture of your soul in a new light. The strength of the arches you built. The beauty of the spans across the valleys of your experience. The purpose may have been temporary, but the structure you became in the process is enduring and beautiful in its own right. Don't mourn the lost water. Admire the arches. We think of distraction as the enemy of focus. But what if distraction is not the enemy, but the teacher? It shows you where your attention is not anchored. Every time your mind wanders from your breath to a worry, it is giving you priceless feedback. Your anchor is not yet secure here. This is not failure. This is the process of learning to anchor a ship in a new harbor. You cast the anchor, your attention on the breath. It drags, your mind wanders. You pull it up and cast it again, learning a little more about the seabed each time. Eventually, it catches. If there were no dragging, you would never learn how to set the anchor properly. Be grateful for the wanderings. They are not sabotaging your meditation, they are the essential steps in teaching you how to truly land in the present moment. Each return is a successful cast. In the world of color theory, there is a concept called simultaneous contrast. A gray square will look different depending on the color that surrounds it. On a blue background, it appears tinged with orange, blue's complement. On a red background, it appears greenish. The gray itself hasn't changed. Its context defines its appearance. Your neutral moods, your baseline state, are like that gray square. When you surround yourself with the color of frantic news, stressful people, or negative self-talk, your neutral state appears tinged with anxiety, sadness, or irritation. But change the context. Surround yourself with the color of nature, silence, or uplifting company, and the same neutral state appears peaceful, calm, even joyful. You have more control over your contextual color than you think. You can choose, to some degree, what surrounds your mind. Be the artist of your context. Choose the backdrop that allows your true, neutral, peaceful nature to be revealed. The heart has a rhythm, but it is not a metronome. It is a responsive, living instrument. It speeds up with excitement, slows with rest. It has something called heart rate variability, the healthy, subtle changes in time between beats. High variability is a sign of resilience and health. A heart that ticks like a dead metronome is a heart in trouble. Your emotional life should have variability too. The goal is not a flat line of constant, bland contentment. The goal is a healthy, responsive variability, the capacity to feel deep grief and also leap with joy, to be focused and also to daydream, to be serious and also to laugh. A rich life has high emotional variability. Don't pathologize your sadness because it's not happiness. Don't fear your excitement because it's not calm. Honor the full, healthy rhythm of your being. You are not a machine. You are a symphony. Imagine your consciousness as a vast, clear alpine lake. Your thoughts are like stones thrown from the shore. Some are small pebbles of daily worry that create tiny, fleeting ripples. Others are boulders of grief or trauma that send out massive, defining waves that reshape the shoreline itself. We spend our lives trying to smooth the water's surface after the boulders have landed, fighting the waves, which is exhausting and futile. The transformative work is not on the surface water, but on the shoreline. Mindfulness is the patient, gentle work of tending to the eroded banks. It's the practice of planting the resilient grasses of self-compassion where the waves of anger have scoured the earth. It's placing the stones of forgiveness along the edges worn down by regret. You cannot stop the stones from being thrown, life will do that. But you can, with slow, consistent care, reinforce the shores of your being so that when the waves come, they don't devastate the landscape, but are absorbed by a stronger, more beautiful border. Tend your shores. The water will take care of itself. There is a concept in woodworking called reveal. It refers to the intentional gap left between two pieces, like a door and its frame, to show the craftsmanship, to allow for movement, and to create a shadow line that defines the form. Without the reveal, the pieces look fused, heavy, and are prone to sticking. We try to live without reveals. We want our lives to be seamless, our persona to be a solid, fused block with no gaps. But this is where we get stuck. Our suffering often lives in the lack of a reveal, the feeling that we must be perfectly aligned with an ideal, with no room for error or movement. Your mental health requires a reveal. A gap between stimulus and response, where choice lives. A space between who you think you should be and who you actually are, where authenticity grows. A shadow line between your past and your present, where healing occurs. Don't try to close all the gaps. Honor the reveal. It is the sign of a master craftsman at work on your life. I spent time with a group of nomadic shepherds in the Atlas Mountains. At night, they would bring the flock into a simple stone enclosure, a zareba. There were gaps in the walls, and no roof. I asked, "Isn't the flock afraid? What if a predator comes?" The elder smiled. The walls are not to stop the predator. They are to remind the sheep they are together. The safety is in the circle, not in the stone. Your mindfulness practice is your zareba. It does not build an impenetrable fortress against all of life's pains and fears. Such a fortress would also keep out light and air. Instead, it builds a simple, intentional circle of awareness. When fear or pain comes, the predators of the mind, you are not relying on thick walls to keep them out. You are relying on the circle itself. The reminder that within this space of your attention, you are held. You are together with yourself. The safety is in the conscious circle, not in the illusion of total control. We think of our personality as a finished portrait, and we walk through life holding it up for others to see, worried about their critique. But you are not a portrait. You are a camera obscura. A room with a tiny pinhole that projects the ever-changing, living, moving outside world onto an inner wall. The image is transient, inverted, and beautiful in its fleeting clarity. Your personality is just the particular shape of your room and the size of your pinhole at this moment. It is not the image itself. The image is the flow of present moment experience. Stop worrying about the fixed portrait of who you are. Tend to the cleanliness of your lens, your perception, and the stillness of your room, your awareness. Then simply witness the miraculous, moving picture life projects within you. You are not the static image. You are the awe-filled witness of the living show. In the science of materials, there is something called the annealing process. Metal or glass is heated to a high temperature and then cooled very slowly. This doesn't make the material softer, it makes it stronger, more ductile, and relieves internal stresses. The slow cooling allows the crystalline structure to realign into a more stable, resilient form. Your most difficult periods, times of intense heat from loss, conflict, or illness, are your annealing process. The cooling is not the quick fix, the desperate attempt to numb or distract. The cooling is the slow, mindful integration of the experience. It is allowing the heat to transform you, and then giving yourself the gift of slow, patient cooling. Through reflection, through gentle practice, through being with the aftermath without rushing to the next thing. If you cool too quickly, you become brittle. Honor the slow cool. You are being annealed. You are becoming more resilient, more flexible, and more radiantly strong. We often speak of negative emotions as if they are toxic waste to be disposed of. But in an ecosystem, there is no waste. What one organism excretes, another uses as nutrient. Your anger, properly composed, can become the fertilizer for healthy boundaries. Your sadness, when allowed to decompose, becomes the rich humus for deeper empathy. Your fear can be the nutrient that feeds your caution and preparation. The problem is not the emotion. The problem is when we stockpile it in sealed containers of suppression, where it putrefies and becomes toxic, or when we dump it raw and untreated onto others, burning their roots. Mindfulness is the composting process. It is creating the conditions, the heat of your attention, the moisture of your tears, the turning of your reflection, for raw emotion to break down into something useful, fertile, and life-giving. Don't throw away your emotional waste. Learn to compost it. Your garden will bloom because of it. There is a type of old, mechanical music box that plays a tune by plucking metal teeth of different lengths with pins on a rotating cylinder. The beauty is in the spaces between the notes as much as the notes themselves. The silence defines the melody. Your life is that music box. You focus on the pins and the teeth, the events, the actions, the achievements. But the melody of your soul is carried just as much in the spaces between, the quiet moments of transition, the pauses between tasks, the breath between thoughts. If the cylinder spun continuously, plucking all the teeth at once, it would be just noise. The spaces create the music. Honor your pauses. The silent space between one thought and the next is not empty. It is where the melody of your awareness is most clearly heard. Don't rush to fill all the silences. They are the composers of your peace. We think of our life's path as a line on a map, with a beginning and an end. We worry we have strayed from the line, taken a wrong turn. But what if your path is not a line? What if it is a lichen? Lichen grows in a circular, radial pattern from a central point, slowly covering a rock. It doesn't have a direction, it has a presence. It explores every crack and contour of the surface, becoming one with the landscape. Your growth is lichen-like. From the central point of your birth, you have expanded in all directions, into relationships, careers, hobbies, failures, joys. There are no wrong turns, only expansions. The covering may be uneven. Some directions grew faster, some were stunted. But the whole pattern is your unique, beautiful, complete coverage of the rock of your lifetime. You haven't strayed. You have explored. You have covered ground. Admire the whole, intricate, radial pattern of your existence. It is a masterpiece of adaptation and presence. Think of your mind not as a single entity, but as a parliament. There are many parties: the worry party, the memory party, the planning party, the joy party, the fear party. They are all debating at once, shouting to be heard, trying to pass legislation that will govern your next action. You, as the conscious being, have been sitting in the public gallery, a passive spectator to the chaos, feeling ruled by whichever party shouts loudest. Mindfulness is the act of walking down from the gallery and taking the speaker's chair. You don't silence the parties, that's a dictatorship. You bring order. You recognize each member who wishes to speak. The worry party has the floor. You listen to its concerns, then say, "Thank you." The memory party may speak. By giving each voice a moment of respectful attention, you drain their frantic energy. They no longer need to scream to be heard. From the speaker's chair, you can then guide the parliament toward wise, considered action, based on the input of all, but dictated by none. You are not a victim of internal chaos. You are the speaker. Gavel in hand, bring your inner parliament to order. In the great libraries of medieval monasteries, they used chains to secure books to the shelves. The chain was long enough to take the book to a reading desk, but not long enough to remove it from the library. The book's value was in its place in the greater collection. We often feel chained to our thoughts, our roles, our past identities. We mistake the chain for a prison. But what if the chain is not to limit you, but to orient you? It secures you to the shelf of your true nature. You have enough length to explore, to be taken down and read by the experiences of life, but you are always connected to your source. The chain is your breath, your awareness, your heartbeat, the tether that reminds you that you belong to a greater library of being. You are not meant to be stolen from yourself. The chain is not bondage, it is belonging. Feel its gentle pull. It always leads you home to your shelf. There is a weather phenomenon known as a virga. Rain that falls from a cloud but evaporates before it reaches the ground. From below, you see the dark cloud and the trailing veil of precipitation, but the earth remains dry. So much of our suffering is virga. The dark cloud of a troubling thought forms, and we feel the anticipation of the downpour, the drama, the pain, the consequence. We brace for impact. But often, if we simply watch with patient attention, the thought evaporates in the warm, dry air of present moment awareness. It never touches the ground of our reality. We suffer the shadow and the threat of the storm, without ever getting wet. Next time you see the virga of a catastrophic thought trailing from a mental cloud, don't run for cover. Stand still. Look up. Watch it evaporate into the spacious sky of your mind. The ground of your being is dry. It was only ever a possibility of rain. I met a man in the Australian outback who repaired windmills. These giant structures pumped water from the deep aquifer for miles around. He said, the key isn't the blades or the pump. It's the tail vane. The tail vane is the small fin that keeps the wheel facing into the wind. If it's broken, the wheel spins wildly, uselessly, or not at all, no matter how strong the wind. Your mind is the wheel. The winds of thought, emotion, and experience are always blowing. Your awareness is the tail vane. If your awareness is fixated on the past or future, a broken vane, the wheel of your mind spins in chaotic, unproductive circles, or seizes up. But when your awareness is anchored in the present, feeling the current wind direction of this moment, it keeps the wheel facing productively into the flow. Energy is converted. Water is drawn up from your deep well. Don't just focus on calming the wind or fixing the blades. Check your tail vane. Is it facing now? A small adjustment here changes everything. We treat our beliefs like foundations of a house, solid, buried, unchangeable. But what if they are more like the roots of a mangrove tree? Mangrove roots are aerial. They are exposed, tangled, and spread out in all directions, adapting to shifting tides and saline water. They don't seek a single, solid foundation deep underground. They find stability in a wide, interconnected network that embraces change. Your deepest beliefs about yourself, others, and the world don't need to be buried and rigid to support you. They can be like mangrove roots, exposed to the light of inquiry, flexible enough to handle the tides of new information, interconnected with other beliefs, and creating a rich ecosystem where life, your life, can flourish in challenging conditions. Let your beliefs breathe. Let them be seen. Let them adapt. Stability is found in flexible connection, not in rigid depth. In the world of sound, there is a quality called resonance. When a string is plucked, it causes other strings tuned to the same frequency to vibrate in sympathy, without being touched. This is how empathy works. When you are with someone who is suffering, you don't need to fix their string. You simply need to tune your own being to a frequency of calm, compassionate presence. Your stable vibration can allow their distressed string to find its way back to harmony through sympathetic resonance. This is also true for yourself. When one part of you is vibrating with panic, you can consciously tune another part, your breath, your body sense, to a frequency of peace. The calm part will, through the law of resonance, begin to quiet the panicked part. You are an instrument of many strings. You can always choose which string to pluck to bring the whole system back into harmony. Pluck the string of peace. Let it resonate through your entire being. We think of surrender as giving up, as admitting defeat. But in the context of mindfulness, surrender is not a white flag to an enemy. It is the unclenching of a fist that has been trying to hold on to a river. You cannot hold water. You can only let it flow through your open hands. Surrender is the open hand. It is the willingness to stop fighting the current of reality, the reality of this feeling, this situation, this moment. It doesn't mean you like it or want it. It means you stop wasting energy pretending you can stop the river. When you open your hand, something miraculous happens. The river still flows, but now you can feel its coolness, its texture, its power. You can even cup your hands and drink from it. The very thing you were fighting becomes sustenance. Surrender your grip on how this moment should be. Feel the reality of how it is. In that feeling, there is a strange, unexpected freedom. There is an art to stained glass. The beauty isn't in the glass alone, or the lead alone. It is in the combination of solid structure and radiant color, and most importantly, in the light that passes through it. Your life is stained glass. Your experiences, both joyful and painful, are the colored pieces. Your conscious choices and your values are the lead lines that hold the pattern together. But the masterpiece is inert without the light. Your awareness is that light. When you shine the light of your kind, present attention through the assembled pieces of your life, it transforms them. The dark shard of grief becomes deep blue. The bright piece of love becomes gold. The light doesn't erase the lead lines of your struggles, it makes them part of the defining beauty. Don't just focus on collecting more colored glass or worrying about the lead. Tend to your light. Keep it clear, steady, and shining through. That is what creates the cathedral within you. So here we are. You have journeyed through stories of deserts and forests, through metaphors of clay and light, through the parliaments and stained glass of your own being. We have spoken of tending shores and annealing metals, of turning down the noise floor and listening for the native language of your heart. But all these words, all these images, are merely fingers pointing at the moon. Do not mistake the finger for the moon. The true teaching has not been in any story I've told. It has been in the spaces between the words, in the breaths you took while listening, in the gentle moments when you remembered you were here, in a body, alive. The core of it all is breathtakingly simple, and yet we spend a lifetime complicating it. You are already home. The peace you seek is not a distant mountain peak. It is the ground under your feet. The love you crave is not missing, it is the very substance of your awareness, when it is not clouded by judgment. The transformation is not a future event. It is happening now, in your willingness to be present with what is. Remember the potter and the clay. You are both. You are the gritty, raw material of a human life, and you are the hands that shape it. The grit is not your enemy, it is what gives you texture, strength, and character. The shaping is not a violent act of force, it is a patient, responsive collaboration with the spinning wheel of time. Remember the two arrows. Life will throw the first. You cannot control that. But your hand need not reach for the second. In the sacred pause between impact and reaction, there is a universe of choice. In that pause, you can meet the sting with curiosity instead of catastrophe. You can say, "This hurts," without adding, "and it means I am ruined." Remember the ghost gum in the desert, becoming its environment to survive. You do not have to fight the conditions of your life to find peace. You can transform within them. You can turn your leaves to silver, send your roots down deep, and find that your resilience is a form of beauty all its own. This is not a call to passivity. It is a call to profound, active participation in the only moment you ever have, this one. To wash the dish while washing the dish. To feel the sadness while feeling the sadness. To taste the apple while tasting the apple. This full participation is the alchemy that turns the mud of suffering into the lotus of joy. Not by rejecting the mud, but by knowing it as the necessary nutrient. You carry generations in your cells. The pain you feel may be ancient. The patterns you wish to break may be old. But you are the point in the lineage where consciousness can awaken. You are the one who can say, I see this pain. I hold it with tenderness. It ends with me. In healing yourself, you send medicine backward and forward in time. You are not a lonely island. You are a healing node in the great mycelial network of being. So what now? The talk ends. The voice fades. The silence returns. And in that silence, you remain. With your breath. With your heartbeat. With the gentle hum of your aliveness. Let this not be an end, but a beginning of a gentler relationship with yourself. Let your practice be small, but steady. It is not about hours on a cushion. It is about the breath taken before sending the angry email. The pause felt before reacting to a child. The hand placed on the heart in the middle of an anxious night. The conscious step taken walking from your car to your door. Build your lavu, your tent of awareness, in the Arctic night of your worries. Light the butter lamp of your attention in the dark. Be the blacksmith who finds peace in the forge, not away from it. Be the heron, still and knowing, in the chaotic shallows. You have everything you need. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are a process, a river, a landscape, a symphony. You are the sky that holds the weather, the lake that holds the depth, the clay that holds the potential, the light that makes the stained glass glow. The invitation is perpetual. It is whispered with every inhalation, come home. It is sighed with every exhalation, let go. So, as we close, bring your attention home one final time. To the breath. To the body resting or sitting. To the sounds around you, not as distractions, but as the choir of this present moment. Feel the weight of your being, held by the earth, supported by the chair, cradled by the air. Feel the miracle of your heart, beating without your asking. Feel the mystery of your mind, capable of such suffering and such sublime peace. You are here. You have arrived. In all your imperfect, glorious, messy, beautiful humanity. You are home. Thank you for sharing this time in Monk's Temple. May you carry this sense of gentle belonging with you. May you be kind to yourself. May you know, in the core of your being, that you are already whole, already loved, already free. Rest now. The journey continues, breath by breath, moment by moment. And you are ready for it. Good night.